What's happening? I'm going to be breaking down Alex Pereira against Sean Strickland in the UFC middleweight division. Sean Strickland is 31 years of age. He's number 4 ranked welterweight in the world. 6'2" with a 25-3 record. That's a very impressive record to have. Alex Pereira is almost 35 years of age. He's 6'4", big fucking middleweight. 5-1 record. This fight is going to be, I believe, the feature fight on the card. So it's going to be the fight before the title fights. I believe the UFC have put it there strategically, as I believe the winner will be next in line to get a crack at Adesanya's belt, assuming Adesanya wins, which I haven't picked to do so. So if we get into the fight breakdown, I'm after telling you the tale of the tape. I'm after telling you their records. So Sean Strickland, he's 5-0 since moving up from the welterweight division. He has 2 stoppage wins and 3 decision wins. His 2 stoppage wins: Jack Marshman, Brendan Allen. Marshman, tough guy. Respectfully, that's the type of guy you should be beating if you want to get up into the rankings. Brendan Allen, that's a good win to have. Good stoppage, great performance. Great, that's a very good one to have. Fair play, Sean Strickland. Especially finishing him like that. I'm not sure if he was favourite or not in that fight, but Brendan Allen's a young guy. He's probably gonna be up in the rankings, I would imagine. Sometime, pretty soon, and he's still only about 25, 26. So that is a good one to have. In hindsight and at the time. And then his last 3 wins have been decision wins, but they have been against a decent level of opposition, leveling up each time. So the first time he kind of need to beat the guy to get to begin to the rankings, which was Christoph Yoko. That tends to be the sort of level of guy that guys need to get past in order to crack those rankings. Then you have Uriah Hall, again, same story, but you need to beat Uriah Hall to crack the top 10. And Uriah Hall is a bit of an anomaly, he's like, I believe I had Uriah Hall picked to win that fight, because Uriah Hall, he's like the young lion that was meant to climb to the top of the mountain, and then he became the old lion who, whenever the lights got too bright, he just didn't perform for whatever reason. And sometimes in sports, especially in MMA, you get that. You get guys that you might be able to beat them in the gym, but then when it comes to fight night, they put out. And the opposite is true as well. You can have guys looking like an absolute beast in the gym, and then come fight night they just can't deliver the goods for whatever reason. So either way, right? The story of those fights were the same. The jab controlled the fight, outpointed the opponents. The Uriah Hall fight was kind of interesting, but the other fights weren't too entertaining. I mean, Sean Strickland even said himself he fought like a pussy. That's Sean Strickland's own words after the Jack Hermanson fight. Well, he won't be able to fight like a pussy. Against. I'm not calling Sean Strickland a pussy, but in his own words, he won't be able to fight like a pussy against Jack Hermanson, or not, Alex Pereira, because Alex Pereira is a striker. He's a kickboxer. He's gonna be the bigger man in the cage. So Sean Strickland can try that kind of heavy volume jab boxing based style he has against Pereira. I don't personally think it's going to work too well for him. His only other option is to try to grapple. And I have heard people say like Sean by submission. I'm not too sure about that, because I mean, like, from what I remember, Alex Pereira looked very good in his fight against Bruno Silva with his takedown defense, and Bruno Silva, in my estimation, is supposed to be anyway he's better known for his grappling than Sean Strickland. So I don't think that like I mean, do you not think this fucking big Brazilian cyborg is gonna have some BJJ? Do you know what I'm saying? I don't think necessarily that the grappling or the jiu-jitsu will be too much of a factor. I think simply Pereira is gonna be too big for him, too strong for him. He's basically gonna melt him, but Strickland might hang in there for a bit because there's a lot riding on this fight, and if Sean Strickland beats Alex Pereira, he absolutely deserves the next title shot. Like Dana White is obviously trying to build that narrative with Alex Pereira and Izzy, because Alex Pereira has two wins over Izzy in kickboxing, one of them being a viral knockout. Um, but this is mixed martial arts. This is mixed martial arts. Alex's first loss was a third round submission in Jungle Fights, but since then he has all stoppages other than Bruno Silva, and Bruno Silva is incredibly tough. So I think Strickland is gonna feel Alex's power, and second round basically it's just gonna be too much. He's gonna eat some shots, body shots, liver shots. He's gonna be jabbed. Uh, he's he's basically just gonna have to fucking stick in there as long as he can. I don't really see it going too much other way. If he can get me Alex Pereira to the ground, if he can get, I that's probably his best route to victory. But I'm fairly confident in Alex Pereira getting a stoppage, and I am fairly confident that at some point, probably this year, we will see Alex Pereira against Israel Adesanya for the UFC strap. So I'm going Alex Pereira second round stoppage in this fight. Thanks, guys.